Addod Solutions. Add-on desires.
Hello, welcome to Addod Solutions. I am Narayan Rao. I deal with English language that is prescribed by AP board. Today, I take lesson number 3 from prose part, and name of the lesson is Digital Technologies. Let us get into this lesson. It has both annotations as well as question answers. According to examination model, you have both annotations and questions, where annotation carries 4 marks. Similarly, question answers. Even question answers carry 4 marks. So that's a weightage. Now, today I start with annotations. Later, I will take questions answers. Okay? Now, what are annotations? Before getting into the answer for annotation, I would like to give you what annotation is. Annotation is nothing but reference to context. What is it? Reference to context. What is a reference? I am referring to something. Similarly, what is context? Context is nothing but the story that is there in the lesson. So, annotation is nothing but a context or a part of the story that is taken. That is taken and asked for the sake of your understanding of that lesson. So, as a student, always you should understand that the reason for giving annotation in your exam is to test your understanding of the lesson. Not only that, whether the student can memorize or has memorized or not. That is another important point. Look at that. When a student can memorize? When can a student has the ability of memorizing? Only when he is regular to the class, not only to the class, listening properly. We call it as emphatic listening. Emphatic listening is nothing but listening wholeheartedly. It's not listening with ears but with heart. That is what required. In any lesson, whenever English language annotations are explained by faculty, you are supposed to be very attentive. You should give your emphatic listening to it, which means wholehearted listening. Now, as a result of this wholehearted listening, you are going to have all those memorized. Easily, memorization is possible. Many people say, I don't have memory. I don't accept it. You have no memory because your listening was not good or not at required level. So, my sincere advice to you all is, in order to attempt annotations perfectly, listening was 50% enough. Other 50% comes by going through or reading once or twice, not more than that. Anyway, the material that is supplied to you will definitely add that kind of easiness to you. So today, I am giving you the synopsis of each and every lesson, and for each and every annotation, just the glimpses of how to write, how to attempt or write annotation with some basic points or words that are required. I am going to tell you today. Okay, so my dear friends, today all of you should be happy for listening to my class on annotations, how wonderfully one can write annotations in order to attract the attention of the evaluator today. Every evaluator has his or her own kind of attention to your writing. For example, I am a student, you are a student, you have written in your own words, I have written in my own words, but at the same time as evaluator, he has his own way of thinking. So ultimately, whoever may be the evaluator, we are going to present our ideas or those which are there in our textbook on the lesson. You are going to present them so clearly, precisely, without any confusion, that the reader, whoever reads, in order to award marks for your annotation, should be impressed. So that impression is important. Here, on the name of answering, you are also making another point, that is creating impression. So with your annotation, what are you trying to do? You are trying to create impression, and that impression comes by what? It comes by your language, your words, the words that you choose to write sentences. So today I am giving you a model of how to attempt every annotation in these classes. Okay, so let's take a look at the first annotation. Rapid improvements in advanced sensors would make it possible to have such sensing systems at affordable prices in many of our sectors. This is the annotation. And I told you annotation is nothing but a particular extract from a lesson. Today's lesson is digital technologies. And from this lesson, you will find this particular line taken from it. So obviously, I told you what is that you are going to do. Unless you remember from which lesson it is, of course, I have given you the name of the lesson now. But tomorrow, they don't give you the lesson name. You are going to find out, or you are going to find out in the sense you are going to remember what is the lesson from which that annotation has been taken from, isn't it? So the point here is this particular kind of annotation, whenever you get in the examination, you are going to first memorize from which lesson is it. So that is the introduction of any annotation. What is that? You are going to give introduction. Now, the first paragraph always is introduction. Okay. So I am just giving you a short form, but tomorrow you are going to write full form. INTRODUCTION, introduction and colon. After that, what are you going to write? What points are you going to brief under introduction is important, isn't it? And I hope you are looking for that. In introduction, you are going to write points which cover only two different things. You are not going to write entire story. Please remember. What are those two things? Number one, the author, whoever has written that lesson. Okay. So name of the authors you are going to write. And point number two, and under what context that particular lines are used. Only these two things you are going to make your points in your introduction. Okay, not more than these 2 points you are going to write in the introduction. Please make a memory of this. After this introduction, you are going to write meaning. So the second subheading is meaning. Now you are going to write what is the meaning of the given lines. First is from which lesson the lines are taken from, and second is what is the meaning of those given lines, which are nothing but annotations. Now meaning, anyway, you might have gone through the meaning because you have gone through the lesson, either you have heard in the class or you might have gone through reading in the book, particularly whatever may be the source. Ultimately, you remember something, and the meaning of that annotation you are going to make a note of it. So what is the meaning? Just describing what are the annotations given. Look at that annotation here. Reads like this: rapid improvements in advanced sensors would make it possible to have such sensing systems at affordable prices in many of our sectors. What does it mean? It means that whenever any advancement in science and technology is made, it is made for the comforts of the people. So simple question, what is it? Why do we always go for advancement in science and technology? What is the reason? See, today's science and technology, if left free, what is the problem in the future? That is a question. So the answer here is science and technology is not static. It is always dynamic, which means keeps on changing. Now you question again, why do we see the change? Because our needs change, our lifestyle changes. Okay, so as a result, you can understand Charles Babbage, who invented computer once, the size of the computer was of room size. Okay, now you look at the shape and the size of that completely has been changed. What is the reason? For the comfort. So today, according to the lifestyle, professional and as well as another kind of domestic needs, we have our own way of using systems, especially computers. So according to the need, always the science and technology is going to be developed. So the development or the advancement in any science and technology takes place for the sake of comforts of us. That is the ultimate point highlighted in this particular lesson, digital technologies, by APJ Kalam and Mr. Rajan. So this particular annotation also has this kind of a point. What is it? Sensors have been improved. Rapid means very fast. So rapid improvements in advanced sensors. Now what is advanced sensors? Compared to the past, the present sensors are very much effective and very fast. That is the idea he has given. Now, every time, every scientist who is working for this kind of advancement, we should always salute them. And the result for all that hard work of these engineers, software engineers who are involved in it, they are only trying to make our lives very, very comfortable. So that advancement is all about given in this particular annotation. So what is the introduction you have to make here? In introduction, you are going to write only two things. Number one, who is the author of the lesson? And next point is from which part of the lesson. There was a particular part in the lesson from where these lines are taken from, that you should remember. So reference you have to write. Under which reference the given lines were spoken or written is what you have to remember, and that you are going to write here in introduction. So introduction covers only 2 points. Point number 1, author. Point number 2, reference. Okay? More than these 2 points, nothing to be covered under introduction part. All of you please make a note of this. We are dividing answer for the annotation into 3 different sections. First section with the subheading introduction, that I have shown it to you now, and the second one is meaning. So what is meaning here, which you have to understand? Meaning here is what is the actual meaning of the given annotation. That is the meaning you are going to write. So second subheading is meaning. Now what are the points that cover under this meaning? Now the points that should cover under the meaning is how this particular annotation is written in this particular lesson, from which context, and what is the meaning of that. Why writer has written these lines, for what purpose. If you go through lesson, you understand all that. So indirectly, around this particular sentence in the lesson, there are some points covered before and after. Those points, if you take, you will get the meaning for this annotation. Okay, so rapid improvements in advanced sensors clearly says that the writer in the lesson has made a reference of the rapid improvement in sensors under technological advancement. And what is the particular event, or what is that particular sentences that were there in the lesson, you are going to remember and you are going to write them down. Would make it possible to have such sensing systems. So this entire annotation throws light, means giving priority to sensors, priority or importance to sensors. And second one is affordable prices. Look at the annotation, read the annotation. What annotation is written as at the end? Actually, affordable price. Now what is the meaning of affordable price? The price that is within the reach of the common man. Today in India, more of the people are common men, rich are very few. So if the technology reaches the common men, obviously that technology is successful. Now when the technology is a failure that can be used only by a few people, then the technology is a failure. Now, but the technology which is within the reach of each and every individual across the globe or any nation, such technology is considered very friendly and successful. Please remember, successful, especially when we talk about technology, as long as it is to be heard successful or become successful, understand that the reason for being successful is that many of us have started using the technology. The comfort of the people should be the ultimate design and idea behind making any technology. You can ask any technocrats, they will tell you what is the purpose of always looking for advancement and progress further and further. What is the reason? They always want to see the most and maximum comforts and how, okay, however way that I prepare or make technology, I will see the end product is nothing but the customer. So I will always see whether the customer is feeling friendly with my technology. That is how I, okay, always think at the time of designing. So like this, in this lesson, Abdul Kalam has very remarkably noted some points about the reason why we always go ahead with technology. As I told you, technology is not static. According to physics, what is static? Something that is fixed. But technology is not such thing. It is not fixed. It is not static, but it is dynamic. Now, what is dynamic? Now, when I say a person is a dynamic person, what is the meaning of a dynamic person? What is meaning of dynamic or dynamics? Even in physics, you have this word dynamics, but here I am talking about English word dynamic person, where the word dynamic means a person who can change or adapt according to the situation. Who is a dynamic person? A person who can adapt or change according to the situation and time. As long as a person can adapt and simply quickly get used to, means adapt or change according to the need, time, etc., such a person is called a dynamic person. Now, such dynamic, okay, technologies, here we are talking about ultimately. What does it mean, dynamic technology? Technology that keeps on changing. Like a person keeps on changing according to the needs, technology also gets changed according to the needs and also the comforts of the person. That is one point. And second point, look at that, affordable price. The price that is very comfortable, I mean price that is reachable. So even a common man can afford it. We use the word afford. Can you afford it? Yes, I can afford. So as long as a common man says I can afford to buy technology, then understand technology, such a technology or affordable technology is completely successful in this world. Okay, so these are the points should be covered under this annotation 1. Okay, so hope you have understood under meaning. So after meaning, you are going to write the third section. I told you every annotation has 3 different sections with subheadings. First subheading is what, if you remember? Introduction. Second, meaning. And third subheading here comes as a critical comment. What comment? Critical comment. Now, one should understand what is critical, because all of you know what is comment. I don't know, many of you take a comment as a negative one, but comment has both positive as well as negative. Okay, comment is not always negative. Comment also means a positive aspect. If I comment you, or if somebody says he has commented me, that means maybe it is negative or positive. Don't understand and come to the conclusion or jump to the conclusion that the comment is always negative. So here critical comment means critical. What is the meaning of critical? That you are going to pursue by yourselves. It is not with somebody's knowledge, but your own knowledge. With your own knowledge, you are going to analyze or understand something that is not there anywhere in any book, something that is not heard by anybody when spoken, but it is purely from your own observation and imagination. You are going to write some points under this. As long as a person understands this critical comment, which is a last part of annotation, where it should be made in such a way, which way that you are going to make points or write points according to your own, okay, imagination, observation, or understanding the things. I told you, you don't find anywhere in the book. You are not writing the same words from the prescribed any material if you find, or guide if you find, or text papers if you find. You are not going to write as it is. They are just a model for you. So critical comment, see, in annotations, introduction As it is, if you write from any guide or model paper, no problem. Similarly, meaning, no problem. But coming to the third important part of annotation, critical comment, you are going to use your own views or your own understanding. This is very important. And people will definitely get impressed whoever has really given their own views about that particular topic under critical comment. I am telling you 100% sure that tomorrow evaluator, whoever evaluates your answer paper, they definitely find that difference of the point you have written in critical comment. Out of 100 students, 90 students simply copy down critical comment also directly from the material or guide or test paper. But those people who evaluate your questions, answer scripts, they know from which guide or from which test paper have you written. So that never gives 100% impression. To score maximum marks, the point here is critical comment. Whoever uses own ideas under critical comment out of his or her own understanding with her own words, definitely such a critical comment with own words will give an absolute impression, 100% impression on the person who evaluates. Since I have been evaluating answers for the last 18 years, I know that there are some students who just uses his own words in critical comment. I can easily differentiate. Anyhow, my conclusion here is at the end of annotation, the third important subheading, critical comment, is crucial for you to score out of 4, maximum 4. 4 out of 4 is possible. I am telling you, not impossible, 4 out of 4, but provided you write your own views in critical comment. Are you following? Hope you have taken. Never forget. Every annotation ends with critical comment, and critical comment should cover with your own points. Okay? Fine. Like this, in any prose or poetry, on the name of annotation, whenever you get, then you have to compose your answer into 3 different subsections. What is the first one? Introduction. What are you going to write in introduction? Only 2 things. Name of the author and from which context those lines have been taken from the lesson. That's it. And second part, meaning. Under the meaning, what are you going to explain? Whatever annotation that is given, that particular part should be explained. And third comes critical comment. As I have just said, purely your own and your own ideas. Okay, shall I go to next annotation after this? Of course, it is the same kind of subheadings you are going to see, but I am telling you some different kind of points according to annotation. Let us go to second. Second annotation is there. What's annotation here? How it reads? Some modern technologies like automated teller machines, ATM. All of you are aware of this. All of you know how to draw money. All of you know how to deposit money. All of you know banking activities. All of you know how to use transactions from your even telephone. Not only going to bank and ATMs or visiting ATM, for drawing or depositing money, but today automatic check clearing systems. What is that? After ATM, there is given in the annotation automatic check clearing systems, telephonic banking, credit cards and electronic fund transfers, EFT, which is a short form that is used. EFTs are being introduced in a small way, and will be prevalent. Prevalent means exist in most of the banks in the coming years. Now, because this was the lesson written in the past, it was given as a coming years. Already we are in that years. So today we see all those things. Whatever mentioned here, like ATMs, automatic check clearing, telephone banking, credit cards, electronic fund transfers, etc. Now, what are these? These are also part and parcel of our advanced technologies, isn't it? So, the reason why ATMs are created, why telephone banking is created, why scientists did not stop with ATMs, why did they go for telephone banking, why they made plastic money. What is plastic money? Credit cards. So there is no need of your currency with you in order to buy, purchase, isn't it? So you have credit cards, you have debit cards. So the card system also has been introduced. What is the reason for discovering or inventing all these? The reason is, number one, security. What is the security? If you carry cash, we don't know whether we take home. In between, somebody will rob us. We don't know. So that kind of a problem will be, will not be there because of this technology. So the reason for creating this kind of technology has been this. What is the reason behind? The reason behind improving this technology is again security. So look at that. The first annotation while we talked about the purpose of technology was a comfort and at affordable price. From the second annotation, what we have learned? We have learned that advancement has another reason behind, and that is nothing but comfort. That is nothing but comfort. Okay, so telephone banking, credit cards, comfort and also safety. So comfort and also safety and security. So safety and security are these two different highlighted points you are going to attempt in this particular annotation. So while writing this annotation, main points should be covered are, number one, security. Here you need not cover the points like the technology is very affordable. That was for the first annotation. For this annotation, don't write points about it is very cheaper, etc., etc. So security is very important, or safety is very important point for this annotation that you have to highlight throughout this annotation's answer. Okay, so security is one thing, and the reason is you should write about banking sector. Especially this annotation is highlighting this sector called banking. Okay, specifically banking, because if you take service sectors, one of the sectors is banking service and banking sector, and this is what in the second annotation he has made as a important aspect. Okay, so now you have got some clarity of how to attempt annotations. What are the three different subsections of annotations or subheadings? And the third subheading, which is named as critical comment, is a very, very important one for any student to score maximum marks. Okay, so the second annotation primarily should cover two important points, highlighting points, security and banking. So you have to write your answer in such a way that on one hand you think of the reason for this kind of introduction of ATMs, checks, clearing checks, telephone banking, credit cards. All these, why all these have been discovered? The reason is for the sake of establishing security. So like this, you connect these 2 points with banking, security and banking, banking with security. So overall annotation, if somebody reads, these 2 different points should reflect in your annotation. Hope it's clear to you now what's all about second annotation. Shall I go to the third one? Now, the third annotation is coming to packing. Now, the very introduction is about packing. The moment you read this particular beginning letters, words, coming to packing, you have got clarity about what this annotation is. Okay? So, coming to packing, wherever possible, we can avoid the older route of plastics. Avoiding the older route of plastics means that the writer is telling us something new, and for adapting something new, he is also first telling us to avoid the past, something which was not possible today to exist. Maybe we face problems because of what was there in the past as a practice. So what past practices you are going to, kept pending, they should become obsolete. What they should become? Obsolete. I am writing here the word, if you remember and write it, it is very good. The meaning of obsolete means something outdated. What is it? Outdated. So no student or anybody for that matter is interested in using obsolete technologies. Are you? No, nobody. We always want something new. We always want something creative. And this creativity or something new, it comes from innovative thinking and innovative minds. So this annotation actually catches that point that everybody, whoever is there behind these discoveries, behind the inventions and technological developments, those people are working for us day and night. I'll take example of Apple. Apple is a company, the products of which are the most costliest, okay, phones, iPhones, you know, all of you in this world. And you should question why this particular company never compromises with price. Anybody has idea? Why Apple never compromises with price, though the market share of Apple is just 33%. In this entire world market of cell phones, Apple's cell phones market is just 33%. And why? Though it is very popular, though the Apple phones are purchased by the customers or consumers on the name of security, why people purchase out of only 33%? Question yourselves. The reason is the price is always not affordable by everyone. And why the price is not made affordable for everyone? Again is a question. In the previous points, we discussed that successful technology is the one which only reaches to the common man, and the common man also can afford it, means can buy it. But now, when I am talking about this particular Apple, there is a specific unique feature. What is it? It attracts a particular sections of the customers. Who are those particular customers? Those who are involved in business. And these people who involve in business field, they always are in the world of transactions, that is give and take money. What is their job? Except give and take money. That means their routine is only with money. And as a result, they want some safety for their money. They cannot deposit in the bank entire money which they earn in billions. So, you know, the tax, they will attract the tax. That's why what they do, instead of keeping it in banking, they always try to give that particular profits to the employees of the company. Who are those employees? Engineers. What engineers? Software engineers, technocrats, who are very good at the technology. Now, these people are those who work day and night, and do you think these people are paid less? No. They are paid accordingly, means according to the price of that particular product. It may be a phone or it may be a tab or whatever. Okay, so the reason why Apple does not give prices at affordability is because they are paying the highest remuneration to the employees of Apple. Wherever the Apple branch is there in the world, the Apple is the only company which pays the maximum when compared to other companies. That's the reason they never get compromised with security and quality. Even that particular small camera with the pixels, they take it as an advancement in it and try to give that particular importance and try to market. Another important aspect in this technology is not only technology, but how to market it, whom to market it, who are the people, who are the target consumers is another important one. So all of you know on the name of Apple, who is that person? Steve Jobs. But do you know really Steve Jobs is the one who has made Apple into limelight in the world? No. There are engineers behind who work day and night. So we should not forget those engineers who work day and night under pressure. All the software engineers work under pressure because they have time frame. It's not that they work according to their will and wish. It's not that they work according to their freedom, rather they always work under time-bound projects. That means the company will tell them, look, I am giving you this particular project or work. You should complete it within a week, that's all. For that I am paying you this much. So those people who accept challenges definitely will face this kind of challenges, isn't it? Because they not only want money, but also they enjoy accepting challenges and work under pressures. Like this, we will find only 3% of the people in the world who accept challenges and work according to the targets given by the company, and that is the reason only those 3% of population in the world become the rich. The reason why people become rich and who are very less in number is only such a less number of people are those who accept challenges. And other people don't accept challenges. They are worried of meeting challenges. They cannot work under pressure. They cannot take pressure. They don't know how to work under a team. They cannot work with others. The teamwork somebody is not able to do in a team. They cannot work in a team. They only work alone. Now, companies don't want persons who work alone because the work is distributed. So in this kind of a system, the technology only will come out with utmost, what we say, a sophisticated technology, utmost sophistication. So this sophistication means something that is within the needs and within the reach of the person. Now here I am not talking about the price, within the need. So because my need here with Apple is security. As I told you, I am a businessman. I deal day-to-day transactions, means I live with money almost every day. So that's how you understand this particular lesson. And coming to this particular annotation, now why do we talk about all this? Coming to packing, so he is talking about the technology. Thus, as long as people think, of innovating, creating, discovering, etc., these kind of ideas come. If you don't think anything, you sit and or you just do like a what we say robo. There is no creativity. We are not robots. Okay, we have our own kind of instincts in our mind. We are gifted. We are gifted because we have intelligence, our own intelligence. Okay, so that intelligence should be appropriately used for the sake of the benefit of the society. Not just for you, but for the sake of benefit of the society. For example, you have created something. If you think it is for you, then you cannot become rich. But if you think about everyone, that it will be useful, only then you become rich, because only then you can get money from so many people. So if you prepare something for 3 people and if you prepare something for 3,000 people, what kind of difference you find, you can understand. So that's the point I am talking about here. So the products that are there are the whatever the kind of plastic route that was there in the past, that should not be continued now. Why? Because the environment has become damaged. There is a pollution. And that pollution should not be continued because it disturbs our health. Primarily, the ultimate importance of any man's life is health. If you have no good health, you cannot create anything. So that is the reason you should answer these points in this annotation. Biodegradable tapioca. Linked paper packages have been developed in our country. In India, we see this kind of a particular biodegradable. What is biodegradable? That will just mix up in the soil. It never gives any kind of pollutants. So the name is a tapioca. You go through the lesson, that kind of paper packages are developed by India. Make a note of that for this annotation. Okay, so please remember, don't forget, every annotation begins with introduction, followed by introduction, second one meaning, and third one critical comment, which should be your own. Okay, so the third annotation primarily highlighting the points about how this particular technology has an impact on biodegradable tapioca packages developed by India itself. Right? Okay.
Addod Solutions. Add-on